politics no ensem bebre na ekoso ewom ade bechi MPP ayese ade bechi NDC ayese NDC force we de na ye MPP force omonso de na ye hwan de na ye enunti na the Punch TV aba say Ghana politics ni nyina no de ekoso ewo man Ghana mu nyina no ye de ni nyina e de ebrew ewo eye channel ye so message so be subscribe to your YouTube channel na Facebook like video yi e de amame share na ma afofo enya bi hwe na fa o comment nso bra e wo comment section ho e ma me video bi e koso politics mo nsensem bi e koso sisi yi aba betodwa mayenko ne yenko kwetie ensem no embra.
And they did not originate, the flight did not originate from Spain. One of the flights actually originated from Rwanda. Is it Rwanda? Yes. Rwanda. From Luanda in Angola. And the reason why the flight came here was to meet a certification requirement. The EU has a rule which says that if planes must land in the European Union countries, they need to be certified. Now, in Angola, they do not have the capacity for that certification. And that is why the aircraft flew to Accra in order to obtain the certification which enables it to land in the EU country. So let's get the facts clear. Okay. Now, the other thing which is important for me is that having watched the video which was released by the presidency through You.Kwasi, you could see from the video that all the standard requirements were met. All the standard requirements were met. In fact, it seems to me watching the video that inspection is even filmed. That filming that was released to the public could not have been done as an afterthought because by that time the planes had left. So it is reasonable to assume that it is part of the standard procedure. And indeed these days, if you travel abroad, you see that at the security checkpoints, if you want to check for narcotics and so on, there's a small swipe. They used to touch your bag and so on. And if there's any narcotic in it, it will show. I saw them use it on the aircrafts and the materials in the aircrafts. And I'm sure you all saw them. You understand? These aircrafts were so vigorously inspected. So vigorously inspected on camera. So all this needless speculation, I'm wondering where it's coming from. You have the facts and you say, no, I'm going to speculate. What's wrong with you, my brother? When the facts are not available, you can speculate. But when the facts are there, staring in your face, you don't speculate. You analyze the facts. And so far, I don't see any analysis of facts, but empty speculation, just intended to cast doubt. You understand? Oh yeah, Ntim Fordjour could be right because 20 years ago, an ambulance was caught somewhere in Sogakope carrying marijuana. What? Is that a level of analysis? So in that case, every ambulance you see anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country must be carrying drugs. What kind of assumption is that? Clearly, my goodness, what kind of assumption is that? I don't know where it's coming from. To be quite honest with you, I don't know where it is coming from. Now, you see, I listened to Ntim Fordjour. I've listened to him, I've read him over the period. And to be honest, I really pity him. Okay. Because at this press conference, he told us So he must be clear in his mind whether he's speaking as a minority spokesperson or he's speaking for Parliament. Now that lack of clarity itself raises many important questions. Now we do know that his claim that he was speaking for a parliamentary committee is at least doubtful. Okay? Because the chairperson of the committee has said he did not speak for us. He did not have our mandate, raising substantial doubts about that claim. Now, there's something else which is important. If you listen closely to his press conference, it was very confusing. At a certain point, he was saying that, look, this is the information that we have had, and that we would like the matter to be investigated. That's one breath. At another point, he actually emphatically makes the claim that Ghana has become a hub for money laundering and drug trafficking. Yeah, suddenly become a hub. How do you reconcile these two positions? Is it a case that he has heard rumors, unverified rumors, that he wants the state security agencies to investigate? Or that now he has evidence to show that within this short period of 3 to 4 months, Ghana has become a hub for money laundering and drug trafficking? There needs to be some reconciliation, because it doesn't make sense that there's a gap which needs to be filled. And then Senna, called logical acrobatics. Okay? This morning, this man, Honorable Ntim on his X page, is claiming that international agencies appear to vindicate his stand and so on. What is the evidence? And Senna, if anybody is in doubt, please read it for them to understand. I mean, when they are in doubt, I don't think they are in doubt yet. When they get into doubt, read it for them. There's a Ghanaian working for an international agency, and he says that the allegations made by him in Fordjour are serious allegations which require or need to be investigated in order to establish the fact. How is this a vindication? Tell me how this is a vindication. How is this a vindication? And this is used as a vindication. It says international agencies are confirming what I've said. I mean, what is this? What is this acrobatics? What is this gymnastics? What is it intended to achieve? You see, it doesn't end there. If you listen to public commentary on the matter, you get the impression that President John Dramani Mahama has ordered the arrest of Ntim Fordjour because of what he has said. No such order has been given. Read President Mahama's tweet very carefully. It says, look, these are serious allegations. We are concerned about these serious allegations. We want to establish the full facts so that we can deal with the matter on an empirical basis. And therefore, I'm asking the security agencies to collaborate. The essential word is collaborate with Ntim Fordjour in order to establish the facts. So indeed, he's not in the category of an arrested person. He's a collaborator. He's part of the investigators. You understand what I'm saying? He is not to be arrested to prove his case. He says, come and help us, work with us to unravel the facts. He's not being arrested. I hope you get the difference. It says collaborate. So he's on the same pedestal as the security services in the effort to establish the facts. Okay? The man who in his first press conference is calling for investigations to establish the facts now turns around and says there's no need for investigations. You read his tweet. He says there's no need for investigations. But he called for the investigations in the first place. So what is this rigmarole? I don't understand it. Why these twists and turns and so on? And you see, my brother, look, I want to believe that every Ghanaian engaged in public commentary, public discussion, is doing so out of a need to contribute to developing a better understanding of our circumstances. Every, including my brother Sabo, including Ntim, Fordjour, and so on. And I want to hold this belief until I am proven wrong. You understand? Because if you don't do that, ab initio will interfere with people's rights to express themselves and so on. So the first point of call is that every Ghanaian has a right of free expression. And every Ghanaian who is speaking about everything is exercising that right until that right is abused. That is the way I want to look at things. In this particular case, it seems to me that the right of free expression is being so blatantly abused in order to serve partisan political interests. Partisan political interest which stands in conflict with national interest. And I am very deeply worried about that. Look, all of us, especially members of parliament, must know that there are consequences for countries when they are classified as narco countries, as countries engaged in drug trafficking and money laundering. There are severe sanctions and so on. So if you go out there without a shred of evidence to go and make such allegations, what we are actually trying to do is that we are calling for the imposition of sanctions on the country. That's what we are doing. We are saying that our struggle as a people to sanitize the national economy and so on should be fed jeopardize the imposition of sanctions. Cocoa, supposed to be the main driver of the Ghanaian economy, is in deep, deep crisis. And sometimes when I sit back, I am amazed, at the courage of somebody like Dr. Randy Abbey. He must be a very courageous person.
I said that yesterday.
No, Randy must have some courage.
Yes.
I mean, to decide at this stage to go and carry the burden of cocoa board, you need a lot of courage to do that. First of all, production has declined by about 60%. Okay? Not just that. This is the second year in which we cannot even borrow money to buy cocoa from the farmers. This is the industry in which local buying companies have collapsed. Licensed buying companies now are predominantly foreign owned and so on. This is the crisis that Randy has gone and put on his head, or they have put on Randy's head.
Oh, yes.
53 billion is how much is owed by Cocoa Board and so on. Now, in the midst of this Herculean problem, and this is not all, I mean, I've always repeated this figure of us needing 120% of total national revenue in order to be able to finance 3 line items: debt servicing, debt repayment, and public sector emoluments. So, in the face of this humongous crisis that has been bequeathed to us as a people, and especially to the Mahama administration, it is a height of recklessness for anybody to peddle rumor which may lead to the exacerbation of the national problem, especially when that is done in anticipation of the fact that it will erode public confidence in the governing party and lead to a victory for the defeated party. It becomes the height of recklessness, absolute recklessness. This is the lie he's complaining about. Agency has invited you, agency has not invited you. What is the damage that, suppose that if we agree that Y'Kwasi lied, he lied, yes, he lied. This lie, what damage does it do to Ghana? Compared to the lie that in a very short period, suddenly, all of a sudden, whatever, Ghana has become a narco state. Which of them is damaging? I mean, look, let's stop this. Let's stop this. I was going to use a certain word, but I have advised myself. Because 3 weeks ago, I used the same word and it was completely misunderstood.
I was saying, and some no and the hono so what to be MPP for no at the end some no more can CPP at the end so and I'm on chain NDC for so more abai and a was so the omope and or more a year and I say and no any equity at the buy no message over subscribe to the Point TV at the Amaye share my for be here for comment bra now feel so no dear Kosubiano Chrewadjene Efa ho Emma yen.